Well, what up everybody? Adam from A-Town Piracy here. Getting ready to bring you just kind of what not to do, what to look for when you're building a kayak trailer. It's a mistake I made. Show you some stuff I had on the kayak trailer that was working great, and then it just ended up fatiguing and failing. Sorry you had to see inside the garage there. It's like an episode of Hoarders in there. But start off with, guys, on my kayak trailer here, I used to run these things called shark fins, and this is one I've taken off. It is just busted up, brittle. As you can see, it's cracked, and it was just putting a lot of pressure on the bottom of the kayak and starting to deform the bottom of the kayak when I'd actually have to ratchet strap it down to the trailer. And I'll show you some of that now. See right here, you can see on the bottom of the kayak how when you get back to this portion, there is like an indentation there. Get that. So what I tried to do to save a little bit of money, them shark fins, I really do like them. They really do work well. They're made by Yakima, but the ones that I have were just really old. They were given to me. I had them on here for a year, and like I said, they were already cracked when I put them on, but just through fatigue and being old, like I say, they're plastic. Plastic stays out in the sun, it will fatigue, and there's untelling how long those things were out in the sun. But what I ended up doing was I tried replacing them with just some pool noodles. You know, just let it ride across the bar, set on the pool noodle, and in the back part right here, it is not that bad. I believe it would ride okay. I don't think it would deform the kayak. Of course, this is just foam. It is a super temporary fix. I do keep the trailer in the garage when it's not in use, but just being out in the sun, getting beat on, salt water, all that good stuff, over a period of time that pool noodle will deteriorate. Actually, I have one that's only been on the trailer for like a year that I had strapped on a piece, and you can see it's just coming apart. Well, I'm trying to get away from that. And here's also another problem I ran into, and I just didn't think it through. Right here in the front, this is a 3-inch noodle. This is a 2-inch right here. The biggest I could find on Amazon was 4 inches. And you can see I want to have support out here on this kayak, and I don't want anything touching where this keel is coming down the center here. I want to keep that pressure. Right now all the pressure is on that keel. So what I'm going to do, take the pool noodles off. That was just basically a fail. So if your kayak has, see how the front end has a big bow on it, I guess you would say, and this bow in the front is not necessarily lower than any of the rest of it, but where I want this thing to ride with the support is basically inside this beam right here, inside of there. With them pool noodles on there, that's not going to work. So I'm going to end up taking the bottom kayak off. It's still sitting on some busted shark fins from Yakima. I just got it sitting on a pool noodle on the outside, but I just don't like it. I'm afraid it's going to continue to deform the bottom of the kayak. Will that hurt it? Not smart enough to know, honestly. I do think with it having a pocket under there like that, you paddling and trying to be quiet, trying to catch fish, you don't want water slapping a pocket and the fish being able to hear it. Now, does that matter? Like I said, I ain't a good enough fisherman to tell you. if it matters or not. But I do not want to deform my kayaks anymore. So I'm gonna snatch these suckers down. And I just ran up to Lowe's. I bought two 10-foot sticks of 4-inch diameter PVC pipe. One stick should do one kayak. Should be able to get 2 support bars or support beams. And I'm going to run across from here to here. I'm just going to use the brackets I already have to mount them, and I think it'll work. I think it'll ride a lot better. I think it'll be easier to load. I'm telling you what, these things here are they're just pushed on this bar, and trying to force this kayak over these pool noodles was actually tough. I mean, it's up there and it's held good. But I would like to be able to load and unload a little bit easier, a little bit smoother, and I think those PVC bars are going to help. Boy, I can't talk. But as you can see, using the kayak also as a storage system right now. Got me a brand new cast net. It is an 8-foot cast net. That sucker was super cheap. It was only like $36 from Amazon. Looks like it's made out of 1-pound mono, so it's probably not going to last long. Alright guys, I'm going to get the kayaks taken down. I may show you the shark fins on the bottom so you can see them a little better, how they're busted up and why I'm really wanting to replace them. And then I'll get them bars mounted and we'll get back at it. Alright guys, here is what a full shark fin is supposed to kind of look like. You can see right here, this piece has already broke off, and this is supposed to be up in the air like so. You can see how brittle it is. I shoved pool noodles in there just to kind of keep them, to have more support, keep them from breaking even more, and it's just fully time to replace them. So I'm going to pull these babies off, and once I get the PVC pipe cut to the length and get them mounted, I'll give you a quick rundown on how I mounted them and why I used a 4-inch and not a 3 or a 2-inch piece of PVC pipe, because I do believe that will be important. One more quick thing. All I have done so far is I just put these pool noodles on there yesterday, and just within loading and unloading these kayaks one time, I've already messed up this pool noodle here, which, I mean, it is just a piece of foam, but what I thought was going to be a good idea turned out to be not such a good idea. So where I was going to save some money ended up costing me a little bit more money. But anyways, y'all, get back at you in a minute. Alright guys, got the new bunks mounted for the kayaks. It is just 4-inch PVC pipe like I showed you earlier. Probably one of the things I do not like about it so far is it is thin wall, and they flex more than I like. Do I think they'll break? Probably not. I had the option to buy thicker gray PVC, which now I'm kind of regretting a little bit, which I'm wishing I did buy them. But I believe it's going to work out okay. Like I said, I did have them mounted where they were running exactly parallel to each other. I didn't like the way the kayaks sit. So you look down the back of the trailer, I got these things running at an angle where they make contact up here a little better on the keel area. And then in the back, I got them halfway setting inside this groove. Top ones are just setting on the old shark fin mounts, which makes them completely easily adjustable. You can pivot them basically any way you want. Just had to drill a hole through the PVC pipe. But the bottom ones basically mounted the same way, they except solid mounted to the frame of the trailer. Still use the same screws and everything from the old shark fins to to save me some money, I will probably end up putting a stabilizer right in here on both sides of each kayak, just to keep it from swaying. If I can keep the sway out of it, I believe that'll keep them riding a little better, but it's a whole lot easier to load. I mean, it was a lot easier to load. As soon as the plastic hit the plastic, it just slid right up on there. But super simple, easy. I believe anybody could probably do it. Only thing I would do next time is I would buy a thicker grade PVC. Like I said, sitting side by side, this was like $13 for a 10-foot stick. Sitting right beside it was a 10-foot stick of the gray, which was thicker, for like $15. I thought the flex would be a little bit more what I needed, and it was not. So if I was y'all, I wouldn't make that mistake. I would buy the thicker grade PVC if you're going to use 4-inch. Oh, and here's another reason I use the 4-inch. Right here, I don't have this strapped down yet, but there's probably only a 2-inch gap right here between the keel of my kayak and the trailer. If I would have went with smaller PVC, it would have brought this a lot closer, and I don't want this to ever have a chance to rub. Alright guys, I am getting ready to pull this top kayak down and replace the rudder cables in it. Done some work on the rudders on them before, but I have not replaced the rudder cables in my wife's kayak, and I'm getting ready to do that now. Alright guys, hopefully y'all learned something. Don't make the mistakes I made. Don't let a busted kayak mount like the ones you've seen on mine ride up against your kayak too long, because it will deform the plastic over a period of time. Like I said, if you go to make the PVC bunks, go with the thicker PVC. Don't go with the thin like I done. And then also go with a 4-inch minimal. Like I say, unless you're going to somehow make a mount to jack that PVC pipe up higher in the air off your little boat trailer, because you don't want that kayak rubbing up against anything metal. Alright guys, I will get back at you when I get back at you. Check you later.